No.
Xin Zhao's fun with the counter.
He's a Xin enjoyer.
He is.
Perhaps the best Xin in the world. And he's going to lock it in. And now this front line's pretty robust. There isn't necessarily hard engage in this draft, but they have a front line that can act as such and empower.
We'll see how well he's going to be able to do it, as we already have Hayes going for a bit of a recall, wants to start stacking up that tier, I would assume, as Doran taking way too much damage. The flash from Zeus, and he just picks up the solo first blood. Nicely played by Zeus there, but Doran really needed to respect the lethal that was being presented.
Now Doran does have flash advantage and is in.
Oh, nice flash there from Ona. Zeus is extremely dead.
So it comes at a cost.
Yep.
You know, you use your flash for that play, you don't have it to it. So a huge win for Kanavi here, actually, in what was an otherwise tough bottom lane. You don't get to see this too often, but with the control that Zeka has right now, he can definitely make the push happen. They were like, you got to come back down here. He had to TP back over. They need his help.
Oh dear, Pathmaker does come out once again. The all-out here from Doran, looking to try and rip Zeus apart. The flash and the return solo kill. Never mind. We're going to need to see that paperwork again.
Just like I said before, you know, this matchup can turn. If you make a mistake, you will get punished. And that is exactly what Doran looked for there. Had the follow flash. Almost was able to take Zeus out without it. Zeus flashed at the last possible second, forcing him to react. Now, Kanavi still does end up getting all 3 grubs, so that's pretty huge for the side of HLE. Wrapping around here, looking for a little bit of prio, but the Dragon is not up for a while.
Oh, there's the flash. Pulverize as Carrier just going to get himself out of there. Delight with the Unbreakable Will does get knocked up by the 3-talent strike, as now Crescent Guard to try and keep Ona safe. True Shot Barrage comes on over, but Ona is already dead in this one. Pays still trying to fire down the damage as Kanavi has to flash to break those chains. Now Delight has the ultimate wearing off though, as Pays Arcane shifts to get out of the way, and now Carrier should be going down, and Zeka picking up a solo kill on the top side, and HLE, they come alive here in this mid-game.
Huge wins in this fight. Pays now in trouble.
Yeah, it's not over yet. There's the exhaust on Naguma, and the turret is going to get his barrier at least. But still going to be another. And T1 are going to be rewarded with a dragon after everything is said and done. So that is going to be good news for them. But now Pays getting set up on one more time. Zeus towards his top side is very dangerous. And Delight, he goes in once again. Has the ultimate running, can tank up this turret for any amount of time that he wants. That is the kick and make sure that they can regain what control they can find. But this tower is just going to go down.
Yeah, it's just dead. Back here comes Faker looking for a play on the Zeka. Nice sidestep.
Yeah, good zoning orb there as well, as Zeka is forced into some alcove gaming. A teleport in from the Jace as there's the wind becomes lightning, the shockwave, and Zeka will be going down. And even though Zeus
numbers advantage here, Guma can make a large impact here even without joining the fight though, and Doran is pretty low, so this is a fairly tough secure here for T1, but they do have a huge advantage.
Yeah, 5 versus 4. You're not going to take that as HLE. So Shelly now going to be employed. No deadly flourish for the steal. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Make sure they get through everything in the kitchen sink and Zeka to kill him and secure Herald. And now they have it.
Oh, and now Zeus in a bit of trouble here as well, as Carrier looking to snare him. Does find the shockwave there to Faker, and now just another round of spells, and Zeus will be dead. Nice little hammer boot back, as there is the Q and the flash forward from Faker to make sure they
will be able to, with this next wave, take it out with no recourse. Guma walking into the jungle here.
Yeah, Carrier is going to find him. I do kind of like Guma's odds, though, as far as the 1v1 is concerned. Pays not going to overcommit. The poke wall right now. Delight and Kanavi both sitting at 50% health as Shelly is going to get employed. And it's Doran that decides to drive her in. There's the shockwave, connects onto Guma. Shelly knocks him up, and down goes the 80 carry. And can they actually get enough of a siege onto this turret, or can they just fall back and take double dragon?
I think their flash or flank angle he can employ to try to get past the phalanx of this front line for T1. And this is the scaling. This was the sit back and wait for 5v5
cooldown. Not too much of a response. Zeka not going to be able to break that crystalline overgrowth. In goes HLE. Kanavi looking for a bit of an angle as they get on top of Ona. There's a good knock up onto the cow, but the Unbreakable Will is going to be there. And Kanavi does at least get on top of him. Doesn't actually
Doran flank though.
The kick. And now Doran, yeah, looking to make his way in. Ona is completely out of this fight though. This is a real difficult one as now Doran doesn't get the Pathmaker forward. does have an orb now to try and keep him alive. Flashes in. There's the shockwave. Just using it to deliver, and the petrifying gaze is fantastic, just not quite enough. Kanavi goes in though and kills 3 with a Tempest. My God! The value from this Lee Sin in that moment, absolutely gigantic. And HLE, they're gonna now look for a Baron.
Yeah, that was such a close fight. Doran's TP, when I saw it initially, I was a little bit confused by it because he went all the way to that control ward just below the top lane. And I was like, well, it's going to take him a while to get in. It certainly did, but when he did show up, he just didn't really get that much done. Eventually, the shockwave was employed, but the answering ultimate from Zeka did so much damage. I don't know if that matters. It kind of matters in this game with this draft, but also there are 2 other problems. The extremely fed Jace, and here comes the light.
Oh dear, yeah, Faker's in a lot of trouble. No shockwave, no chance, and now Ona has to use the Crescent Guard to avoid dying to the Curtain Call. Gumayusi will be able to get rid of this inner turret now. True Shot Barrage does a little bit of damage, but Zeus is getting rid of inner turrets elsewhere on the map as well. 30 seconds until Faker is even back up and available. And T1 need to try and keep their base standing. Kanavi and Delight, the kill squad, moving over towards this mid lane, and Carrier's going to get caught out, obliterated with all this damage. And in goes Zeus, dives on top of Doran. Once again doing a lot of damage here as well. The poison still ticking down, and Pays, you're not going to be able to defend this one, buddy. HLE going to be able to take the inhibitor. And this snowball is well and truly a rolling.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much coming back in this one here for T1. Fight their way to make it make sense every time. They are the team that will scrap every time, will outplay you, run circles around you in those early team fights. A problem in itself, trying to catch Guma. They almost got him with that crazy Doran flank, but he's just so long range that he doesn't care. As they're looking for Zeus.
Yeah, speaking of Doran flanks, there's another shockwave to connect onto Zeus, and he's just dead. And Doran had made his way in, but wasn't even required in that play.
And because he TP'd to try to escape and gets shockwaved, he doesn't have TP to rejoin. So this Baron attempt here is just dead in the water now for HLE. They're not going to be able to start this one up.
Oh dear, unless Faker is taken down. There's Miasma going, and Zeka is just going to chase him down. Great kick, and the immediate punish as Faker is in this mid to late game so far. I mean, that's be able to find more damage.
Faker dying there, just took all the wind out of the sails.
Flash of uphold from Delight. Crescent Guard is fantastic though to break this one up, but FaZe is still just dead. No options there at all, and Owner is just going to get turned into mincemeat. Doran trying to pick a target, but Zeka is just going to run circles around this Cassante. Zeus turns up, brings the hammer down, and I think, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of the game.
It is. In a sub 30-minute game, HLE are going to take a dominant Game 1 here. There was a bit of a save on the play from Doran there, but Faker just walks into a jungle with no vision and gets blown up, and the game is completely over now.
Yeah, Carrier taking a lot of damage. Gumayusi doesn't find the Deadly Flourish, but he will find the Nexus turrets, and he will save Jin from a 12-in-a-row loss streak. It stops at 11, ladies and gentlemen, as HLE do take Game 1.
We prefer. Mentioned the Kennen on his way to potentially getting 500 games tonight. It's his 5th most played here in the LCK, and he will pull it out. It's a classic counter pick here from Zeus specifically into the Gwen. Not a lot of other players enjoy what happens next.
Yeah, this time Owner is here as well, so he's going to move on up. Gets a control ward down. Kanavi already here as Gumayusi in a bit of trouble. Great polymorph onto Pays to stop that play as Owner goes in. Only level 5, but Goomer is still taking a lot of damage. Pays, can you get the autos across? Oh, he gets the piercing light for the kill! And the Acathian surprise is not going to be able to do it here as somehow Owner survives for such a long time, picks up the double for Pays, and now Doran is going for an all-in on this top side. That needlework not quite connecting though, as now Zeka moving towards his bottom lane. Oh, the dash out of the way, Pays turns it into another kill! But still, Zeka is going to be able to find a lot of value here. The fire kick from
Zeus does have Ignite and his ult, so very scary moment.
Yeah, there is the Ignite immediately as Pantheon turns up as well. Stun onto Doran, and Gwen is not immune, ladies and gentlemen.
And Faker has Realm Warp, but it's just not the same sort of impact. He can't save this play. There's no way he could react. They're the ones who are pushing the tempo. They're the ones who are leading the charge on that top side play, and the observers knew it, we knew it. Doran just couldn't realize that the engage range of that Pantheon was long enough to where he couldn't be anywhere near that Kennen. Zeus didn't even have to flash for the play. Zeus just kind of slowly pushes up, scouts him out. So he just ended up wasting a little bit of time there, but nothing too crazy.
Yep. He's still dashing forward as Gumayusi presses W. It's going to be a lot of damage onto Keria. And there is a Pantheon waiting. Polymorph and the exhaust now down onto Pays. Guma in trouble, but Owner is here at exactly the right time. Finds a Cyclone onto Kanavi. Gets the Aegis out and now teleport in from Zeus. He's looking for an angle and tries to get on top of Pays. He finds him. Picks up the double with the help of the living artillery. Scatter the Weak comes down. Owner is dead. Zeus to stay alive, and Faker tries to grieve for the play, and it's just more food for the Hanwha. I don't know where it starts to feel better for T1 because it's a very different composition to what we saw last time. As now Faker is in trouble. The Unleashed Power comes in. Scatter the Weak. Should be enough space for Kanavi to come on over and get the stun. And Faker was running the wrong direction anyway, so it's another freebie here for HLE. Zeka shows up, and you can see Zeus roaming from that top side. No teleport available. Doran does have his, and now that is going to be used to bring him towards this fight. For a little bit of time, it might be a 4v5, but Zeus is getting here very, very quickly. That is going to be the secure for T1, but the scatter from Zeka is so good. Owner trying to get himself out with that warrior. Yeah, it's likely they can get over and siege that one out, especially with the Bioarcane barrage here from the Kog'Maw. Extending that range. Zeus just goes in, looking for another angle, and there is no ulti for Keria. He's dead, so's Pays. And yeah, that turret's gonna die.
Zeus is just like, I have flash up. You can't be anywhere. That isn't underneath the turret, and even that's not safe.
Oh, good mist to be put down here by Doran. Zeka not quite able to kill him, but still
getting
closer. A lot of damage.
And I mean, they're just dropping the Herald to kill him. Kanavi's gonna have his stun ready.
Oh no, Doran could just be dead here.
Straight
up, the Aegis comes down. The Q is going to miss. He should have another one of those though, and he just doesn't have flash, so there's just no way out. And Gwen is dead, and now Zeus is going to get closed in on here as well. The flash forward, Faker tanking up the turret, and that will allow Owner to get out of there safely, so there is at least one kill back. But it's 11-4.
Yeah, and look at the top lane here. Zeka, with that kill onto Doran, is pushing this super hard. 2 stacks of Rod. Doesn't have his second item yet. Is a level behind right now, so he's really going to need that Rod of Aegis to complete, but it'll take 8 minutes.
And that is exactly what Kog'Maws most of the time worry about. Zeus now looking for an angle here as once again Kanavi shows up. Faker's dead. There's just nothing he can do about it. Where is the counterplay? I don't know. As Pays goes in and then goes out via the Death Chamber. As
shutdown fails, and then they just find themselves against the wall here. Backs against the wall. Baron up on spawn. 8,000 in this game on this Syndra. I mean, if we roll the clock back 4 years ago when Zeka won a world championship, we could never say he was good at Syndra, but in 2026, man, he's out of control.
He's looking pretty ridiculous at the moment as Faker is going to get the power unleashed upon him. And thank you for demonstrating exactly what we were talking about there,
The rare caster blessing, I guess.
Yeah, I was somehow expecting Faker to just turn that and then solo kill him somehow because caster curses are so powerful and very real. But not this time. This time HLE, it feels like they're just a little bit too far ahead as Gumayusi is just attack moving towards T1. Owner almost just dead from a few of these shots from this B Kog'Maw. And the inhibitor turret will go down. Inner in the top lane is also being softened up by Zeka as well, who deals with that one as we are talking about this. And T1, there are no options left.
Push in the top lane now. Baron buff minions still here for a minute and a half. They need so much more time than what they've got.
All right, Hail Mary play. Faker dives on in and takes the Death Realm exit. Pays is in trouble here as well, slicing Maelstrom. Pays actually survives for quite some time. And there is the Cyclone to interrupt at the same time as Zeus is going to fall. Doran's also dead. It is still a 1-5, but the fire kick onto Kanavi is so good. Pays still trying to dance around this fight, but he will eventually go down. Kanavi gets another one. That's one going over to Zeka, and it was a valiant attempt, but it's still going to be the ace. And HLE will close out this series in 2-0 fashion. Utter dominance on the eve of the playoffs.
Showing that they are by far the deserving team here of round 2. Crushing 2-0 T1. I think it was pretty mixed in terms of predictions, about 50-50 on our side, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think people are reassessing the power levels of this squad right now. The draft in game 1 was merely...
Not care. We want to win the LCK as well and give ourselves the biggest chance possible of taking home that World's Trophy.
Pays He was played through. He had a lot of money early, but it just didn't matter. They get bowled over here. Look at Guma. He wasn't important, not because he played badly, because they were so ahead.
And also, you can't be important
bars.
when everybody else is being so important.
Yeah.
Kanavi's going to pick up a very, very understandable player of the match here, only dying once, which is absolutely ridiculous. 18, 1, and 12. Not a bad scoreline, you could say, for the gentleman. Win yet another World's Trophy.
Especially when it's, you got two different issues today. You got in game one a bit of a hands issue and a bit of a decision-making issue, and then in game two it's like, the game plan just didn't work out. It was too thin, the win conditions.
All right, now it is time for the interview, though. We haven't been standing alongside HLE, so let's throw it over to Dia for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the full team interview translation, joined by Hanwha Life Esports, who just got to qualify for playoffs round 2. We have Zeus, Kanavi, Zeka, Gumayushi, and Delight. Congratulations! First of all, let's have a chat with Zeus. With playoffs round 2 on the line, you came out on top. So how does it feel to finish second in the regular season? Although we were aiming for first place, slightly regretful that we actually had to fight for second. I just knew that it would be really fun today, though, especially given that our opponent was T1, and right before playoffs, I feel like we went through a tough matchup today, and I had a lot of fun today. And Zeus, as a top laner, you are the third player to hit 1500 kill, and you are actually approaching 500 games in the playoffs. So, what other milestones do you want to reach? Yeah, before today's match, I saw Keen and Doran. And I noticed that, I want to be able to play in this scene for a long time until I hit first place in those standings. And what is your mindset for the playoffs? During the regular season, obviously, it wasn't always smooth. But towards the end, I feel like we definitely woke up and were able to improve our forms. And in the playoffs, I don't know who we're going to meet first, but I expect it to be difficult and quite challenging. But that's why I'm looking forward to it even more. And next we have Kanavi. You joined Hanwha Life Esports this year and finished your first LCK regular season. What kind of goals did you have in the LCK, and how much of that have you achieved so far? Now, I used to be in the LPL, and I got to play in the LCK this time. And in the LCK, my goal was to get first place, but I think I'm pretty happy about getting second. And Kanavi, I'm sure you were very happy with your performance today. How did you feel? Everything went really well from early to mid-game to late game, actually. So, I'm actually quite content with my own performance. And what would you like to say to your teammates to kind of hype it up? I think everyone played today's match so well, and the regular season was quite long. I just want to say thank you so much for being such great and amazing teammates. Let's give it our all for the playoffs and Worlds. And Zeka, his second place was on the line today. What kind of preparation process did it take for you to take such a convincing victory? We were actually competing for these standings, and if we were to lose today, that means that we wouldn't have as big of a break. So I actually quite motivated to win today's match. And Zeka, you're also reaching a lot of great milestones. And it looks like you are taking it step by step. How do you look back to this season?
플레이오프 가서 또 나머지 팀 다 이기고 1등 해보도록 하겠습니다.
Well, it feels like it was just that hair of a difference for us to miss first place. But for the playoffs, I want to make sure that we're able to win and come out on top as the first.
일단 좀 지금
Yeah,
패치나
MSI
메타에서 좀 되게 다양한 챔피언들이 나오고 메타가 좀
With the MSI Championship, I'm sure that you're looking for the LCK title. So what do you think will be the key point in the best of fives? I think in the current patch and the meta, there are a lot of various champions that are actually coming out. And meta seems to change every so often. So I want to make sure that, the key point that we are able to download would be the meta read and also improvements on the champion pools. And next we have 구마유시.
2위로 마무리하게 됐습니다. 먼저 소감 여쭤보고 싶은데요.
저희가
You were able to finish second place. So
좀 쉽게
how do you
가능했을 것
feel?
같은데
I feel like if we were to play round 3 a bit better, we would have been able to actually get first place. So yeah, it's a little regretful, but I feel like now is the most important part. So I think it's just that we'll just have to try even harder from now.
운동 다 같이 열심히 하고 이런 것들이
And
많이
how do you
생각이 나는
look
것
back
같고요.
to this season with your
건강하고
teammates?
행복하게 잘
I mean, I
지내는 것
think
네, 든든한
you know,
모습입니다.
I think we were able to all eat good food and work out together. I hope that we're able to continue being healthy and happy with each other.
저희 팀이
And what are you looking
전보다 좀
forward to
팀
in the
경기에
playoff
강하고
stage?
고점이 높다고 생각해가지고
I just feel like our
플레이오프에서
team
좀
is
보여줄
a
저희
lot
팀의
stronger
고점
on
플레이들이
bigger
기대가 되는
stages,
것
and we have such a high
함께
ceiling.
기대하도록
So
하겠습니다.
there's so much to show during the
선수였습니다.
playoffs. I want to
감사드립니다.
make sure that we can reach that ceiling.
네, 마지막으로 딜라이트 선수와 이야기 나눠보겠습니다.
And lastly,
딜라이트
let's have a
선수,
chat with
새로운
Delight.
멤버와 함께한 2026 시즌이었습니다.
It was a